goes. There we go. We're live. How's everybody doing? It's your boy Eric, aka Young God, coming to you in the Orange Dungeon, giving it to you real raw, rugged, and like the Breakfast Clubs always say, we got a special guest in the building. I'm gonna let him introduce himself. Who do we have?
My name is Scott Daniels. I am a reporter slash anchor on the Central Coast of California, KSBY News. You probably recognize me as the Travis Scott sportscast guy.
Now, for the people that don't know about your background, just tell them a little bit more. Like, well, I mean, how did you even start getting into sportscasting or just working at a news station in general?
Oh, I've always had an infatuation with sports. I grew up in the era of Sports Center when that was thriving in the 90s, early 2000s, and I've always wanted to get into sports. Problem is, it's really hard for someone who didn't play sports professionally to make it in that avenue, so I gravitated towards news. And then I got the opportunity, in this case, to fill in doing sportscast for about 2 weeks, and the rest is history. I'm back at it doing news, so you probably won't hear me doing any Travis Scott references on the newscast.
So, what made you, or would you say you're a journalist, or would you say you're a reporter? How would you classify yourself?
I'm an anchor, so if you turn on your TV, if you live in the area here, the Central Coast, Santa Barbara, San Luis Obispo, you turn on your TV on NBC between 5 and 7 a.m. I'll be behind the news desk telling you what's going on in the world today. We also have an app you can watch online, and a lot of people were doing that live during the sportscast.
Well, before we even get into anything sports, rap, music related, I just want to talk about you as a person. Like, I always like to get to know people a little bit more personally. Like, when you're not doing anything at the news station or not name dropping Travis Scott, what do you do in your free time? Like, what are your things that enjoy your, quality free time?
Yeah, so I'm from the Sacramento area, Roseville, California. It's not too far away from here, so I do like to travel, go home a little bit, go to LA. I have a lot of family and friends who live in the Los Angeles area as well. I live on the beach, so you'll find me on the beach most times after work. I'm also trying to run a marathon next month, no, 2 months from now, and I've been just running my ass off, and that's all I've been doing, listening to music the entire time, so that's a big part of my life right now as well.
I'm really trying to get in shape because like I got like a little like beer gut going on right now, and I don't drink beer at all, so it's weird. So I mean, are you an in shape person? Do you have any tips for me to get in shape?
I haven't always been in shape, and right now I'm probably in the best shape of my life and still need to probably lose about 10 pounds. So my advice is eat well. It's not as expensive as it sounds, especially if you cook your own food. Try to use a lot of meat and vegetables and just start from there. And then if you got to fall in love with it, I never liked running. I was always a basketball guy, but now I can run for 10 miles at a time and be okay.
Wow. So you have a lot of stamina, basically. You build up your cardio and stamina with doing all the running, right?
Yeah, it's all about going slow, pacing yourself. Before doing this, starting training in May, and I could only run probably about 3 miles at a time, and now the longest I've done is 12. So
Wow.
working away at that.
Yeah, I need to start doing that because I just played somebody for $60 in a one-on-one game to 11. Man, when I got to 8, I was finna pass out. So I need to work on my cardio, man. So basically, you would suggest me running for like if I'm not used to running, I guess like every day. What should I start at? Like a mile, half a mile? How should I start?
Yeah, I would just say pace yourself. Run as far as you can between, let's say, 3 and 5, but pace yourself. Go slow. You get those cramps. That doesn't happen if you're running just a little bit slower. Stand upright. Did you win your game?
Okay. So what happened was, no. This is a good one. So basically, we were on Xbox Live last night, and the person I played put 30 down. Another person betted on him and put 30, and I said, you know what? You might as well just buy NBA 2K for me if I win. They said, cool. So we played the first game. I won. He said, hey man, I ain't playing one. I'm playing another. We want best 2 out of 3. Played another game, then I won that one. So thank God I won it. I got my 2K. We're all happy here. So yeah,
Nice.
we did it. Are you any good at basketball? Because I heard you say you were a basketball guy. Can you play?
Yeah, I used to play in high school, and then after high school, just rec leagues and whatnot, just pick up ball. But I can shoot, and I was shooting threes before Steph Curry made it popular. So let's just say I didn't put that on the map, obviously, but I was doing that before because, a guy like me, I can just play defense and shoot. That's it.
Hey, if I ever come out there, we might have to record a little one-on-one game, man. I might have to go down. That might have to go down. So, are you, when you're at home and you're not like I was saying, in your free time, do you like to watch TV or movies? Is that a thing you like to do?
Yeah, kind of movies. I'm really into NFL. I'll watch that, but outside of that, not really.
So, I guess going straight into the NFL, who's your team if you have one?
Still the 49ers. I bought this jersey. I had to personalize it before Kaepernick was a starter because they didn't sell the jersey. And I'll probably be the last person wearing it, seeing as that, he's making a stand by taking a knee, and I totally back that 100%, and he's still that guy. And I'm sure he's going to get back on the field sometime. Right now he's being blackballed, but someone will be desperate enough to change their racist views and pick him up on the team. And he's a great asset. I would always say that, they're making it political, these owners and the Kaepernick, outside of Michael Vick, has been the most electrifying player on the field, and there's no doubt about it. No politics involved. You just want to see the guy play.
I always knew Kaepernick. I don't know if he I don't know what your take on this, because when he played the Patriots, this was when it was that one year when he was just on fire and he just couldn't be stopped. I'll never forget looking at the game. He was blowing us out 28-0. They ended up winning, but we came back to tie it up. I think it was 35-28, and I was like, this man just ran through. I was like, we're like some bums or something. So as in recent years, he hasn't been doing that. Do you think that's him, or do you think that's the wide receivers or the team? What do you think happened?
Okay, so I'll just say I used to watch him play in high school. Our team would face his team a couple times a year. No, I think it was just one time a year. And he was a stud, not crazy good. I mean, he was good enough to get a scholarship at Nevada, Reno. And from there, you get to see his talents take off. I think it helped having Jim Harbaugh as a coach, because Harbaugh is like a quarterback whisperer. He's played quarterback his whole life, and he knew how to make things work offensively. Greg Roman, the offensive coordinator that stayed around those extra few years when the Niners were terrible and still are terrible, but he did a bad job, in my opinion, trying to draw plays for Kaepernick, because he's thinking, let's do a lot of fake handoffs, play action, but in the realm of that actually working day in and day out, it just wasn't feasible. And I think that with Kaepernick, if he got a job somewhere where they have a good offense to begin with, or just a couple guys that can get open. We were working with Anquan Bolden, who's a stud player, but doesn't have the wheels left. He's almost 35 years old, running around trying to get open. It was just difficult for him to find open receivers, and I still think that Kaepernick, though he lost some weight, can succeed in the NFL today.
And you said you do think he would end up being with a team. Who do you think he would best fit for?
Best fit, I was hoping for the Jets. They're terrible, and they can't go anywhere but up. So why not give him a chance? That's what I loved about having him on the Niners. When we were good, it was amazing because he was awesome. But even when we were bad, it was fun to watch. So we might as well have that than just be terrible to watch and be bad at the same time.
I remember right before we started this interview, you said, was I a Jaguars fan? I said, heavens no, because they are horrible. I remember it was a little I think Shad Khan, that's the owner of the team, he said that he wouldn't mind having Kaepernick on the team, but I think he passed on him. And I don't know, I think that may be a good fit. What do you say?
I mean, Blake Bortles is trash, so anyone's a good fit there. I would just say, before I make it sound like every team is terrible for not picking up Kaepernick, I understand not picking him up. He's definitely a distraction. He's definitely dividing the locker room, but I think it's for a good cause. But at the same time, if he's just going to be a backup, I can understand not picking him up. I get their point of view, but for the Jaguars, they've won one, so maybe they're up to something. Who knows?
So how do you think your 49ers are going to do this year?
Games. I'm hoping they win 2 games, and they're both against the Seattle Seahawks, and they'll get the number 1 pick next year. That'd be a perfect season.
Who's the best player on the team? I can't even think off the top of my head.
It's probably Navarro.
Oh Oh, you guys do have him.
Yeah.
Wow. Who's the quarterback? Is it Blaine Gabbert still?
No, Blaine Gabbert got cut, and I don't think anyone picked him up. It's the bald dude who used to play on the Texans. I can't even think right now.
Schaub? Matt Schaub?
Matt Schaub. No, it's not Matt Schaub. It's
Is his name start with a T?
see, I don't even know.
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, I can't even think right now. It's crazy.
It might be Matt Schaub.
Well, I mean, I don't know. I mean, or did you?
I'll look it up. It's he used to be under, because that's why they brought him in, is because the current head coach Shanahan used to coach him before, so it's a good fit for the system right now, just to get guys up to speed. But it's not for the long term.
Brian Hoyer, that was our old quarterback. Yeah, he used to play for the Patriots. It's crazy. Yeah. Okay. Wow, that's crazy. Shout out to Brian Hoyer. I don't know. What are your takes on my team this year? Patriots. We had a very, very struggling team. Our very, very struggling game the first game, but I think that was due to a lot of injuries and just a lot of mishaps. Would you agree, or what do you say?
A lot of people had the Patriots being number one. The books, it was minus 400 or 500 to have them win every game undefeated. So they are underachieving so far. I doubt that's going to last. Yes, they have a lot of injuries to deal with, and that's a lot of problems for Tom Brady. We'll see how it works.
Hopefully it goes good. But let's touch upon why you went viral almost, basically. One day I'm on KTT, see a big thread, and it says something about sportscaster name drops every what did it say? Something basically like you name dropped every Travis Scott song name known to man. So I look at the video and I'm like, wow, like you did this so flawless and effortlessly. And like, see, I'm a person, I have a pretty good memory and I can remember stuff. I don't know, how long did it take you to remember that off the top of the head? That's what I want to know first of all.
Okay, so the process of this going on, there is a script. I wrote the script, and there is a teleprompter. So I didn't have to remember anything unless the teleprompter was to fade out, but that wasn't an issue. As far as putting this all together, it took me a couple of weeks. I found out that I was going to fill in doing the sportscast 2 weeks prior, and just always wanted to do something like this. A couple of years ago, some guy did a... He's the reason I got into Travis.
You broke up. Say it one more time. You broke up a little bit. Say it one more time.
Oh, sorry. Kanye's the god, as we all know at KTT. He is the reason most of us got into Travis Scott to begin with. I always wanted to do a Kanye West sort of themed sportscast if I ever got the chance. Someone already did it, so then I said, well, I love Travis Scott. He's really filled that void for me since Kanye stopped performing in November 2016, which I was at the concert. And it was amazing seeing Kid Cudi on the flying stage with him. Sad day, but it brought us a little bit closer to seeing Kanye and seeing his proteges like Travis Scott.
Okay. And when you see that, like, I don't know, I was just very, very like creative the way you just like did everything. And I'm reading through the thread. I'm not such a big Travis Scott fan, but I knew like 90% of the songs. But the songs that I didn't know, somebody made the accusation. It was like, this guy has to be on KTT because he's naming songs like not just a casual fan would know. So you said you didn't know about KTT, so let's talk about that. Like, how did you find out about what KTT was?
Okay, so I'm obviously on the internet looking for new music and talking to my friends about new music. KTT is a big reason why some of these songs get released in the first place. I'm a big Schoolboy Q guy. I know when that album dropped, that was leaked through KTT. I remember that. I don't necessarily browse through KTT often. I'm usually a Reddit hip hop heads guy, if anything. But I do appreciate what KTT offers. I'm a absolute diehard Kanye fan, and everything that KTT represents is just what I love. So the fact that I'm not necessarily a lurker per se, occasionally, maybe once every couple months, just to see what I missed, if anything. But I feel like I'm very in touch with what's being released from Kanye, from Sci-Hi, anyone in good music, anyone in Travis Scott, for instance, Kid Cudi. that a lot of it comes from KTT to begin with. I just don't have the time or even effort to go through all these blogs, especially KTT, where a lot of it's jokes, which I love, but it's just a little bit too much for me sometimes.
Well, just not even rap, but just music in general. Who are people that you're listening to?
I'm a big rap guy. I mean, obviously Travis, obviously Kanye. Outside of that, I mean, Made in Tokyo. Out of all those like that just dropped, like Lil Uzi's was a good album. I thought Made in Tokyo was very underrated. That came out the same day, essentially. Anything produced by TM88. I'm a big rap guy right now. I'm going to phases. I lived in Vegas and I was in the EDM scene for a minute. But my friend turned me on to Tyler, the Creator, A$AP Rocky, Schoolboy Q, Kendrick, around the same time. And then just from there, just graduated into, I mean, back to my love of Kanye West. I've been a huge fan of his since the college dropout. 2005, I was graduating high school, and my high school senior project was an oral report on All Falls Down. And just to look back 12 years later and just be so proud that I was there and never really turn my back on Kanye because, you know, he's made that transition from old Kanye to new Kanye. And I think the new Kanye is better than ever. And really, after Yeezus, I learned that Travis helped write a lot of those songs. Because you know how Kanye does with, he'll trade just information and bounce ideas off people. And so when I learned that about Travis Scott, I became a fucking huge fan after that. So Owl Pharaoh wasn't my favorite album. Days Before Rodeo probably is. Rodeo's amazing. Birds is amazing. I give that album a lot of credit for bringing in fans that probably shouldn't be Travis Scott fans, but I think he's headed towards that poppy direction, which I'm okay with. But I think that's why this went viral also. It just, Travis is on the trajectory where Kanye's left that void that needs to be filled. Travis, he has that mentality to market himself. He's dating a Kardashian. He has that auto-tune synthesizer. He's working with Mike Dean. He knows who to work with, how to plug his music. I mean, I've been basically promoting him ever since for free. So if he ever wants to put me on his payroll, let me know.
Couple things I want to touch on what you just said. I'll start backwards. You said that which one was your favorite? Days Before Rodeo, right?
Yeah, I'd say that.
That's great. The album that out of all those I would say was the weakest is probably Birds, because I don't know, it was just, I just wasn't feeling it like that. Like, what were your overall thoughts on Birds?
Okay, so I understand what you're saying. I didn't like Birds the first run through, and my reaction was, oh my god, this song Goosebumps. What is Kendrick even doing with this song? I love Kendrick, and he sounds like he's all nasally Kendrick again. But when you get the chance to see Travis Scott perform these songs live, Through the Late Night, for instance, is such a different experience live than what it is on the album, that it makes it such a great album, in my opinion. And when you hear just these songs, they have so much replay value that, especially right now when I'm trying to run this marathon, all I listen to is Travis, essentially. All I did just to get in the mindset of doing this sportscast. And the replay value on Birds is exceptional. I think it's one of the best albums of last year. I'm a huge TLOP guy, so I'm going to say that's my number one. But Birds was phenomenal. I understand the initial dislike, especially for Travis fans or fans of hip-hop in general, but he's trying to broaden himself, and I think we'll see more of that on Astroworld, his upcoming album that's rumored to come out. I think we'll see more of him turning into that pop icon rather than a rap guy, which, again, I'm okay with. I know a lot of people aren't, but I am.
Yeah, it was pretty interesting to listen to that. I think my favorite out of what he released has to be Rodeo, because I don't know, I just feel like Rodeo, a lot of people complain about certain rappers using auto-tunes. I feel like that was the epitome of like somebody using auto-tune correctly on every given chance. So I don't know, that album was just amazing to me. And going back even a little further, what you said, I was trying to figure out where you were from, because I didn't know if you answered this question or not, but maybe you know who I'm talking about. You didn't you say you lived in Vegas, right?
I lived in Las Vegas for 3 years, reporting there.
Okay, I don't know if you know this reporter, but I just want to ask you. You are Las Vegas probably has the most beautifulest. I don't know if she's a weather person or what, but she works at a news place. Her name is like Demetria O something. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Traffic Bay, Demetria Ovalar. I worked with her. She's amazing. I love her.
Shout out to her. Oh, you worked at the same station with her.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah, yeah. Shout out to her. I just had to give her a shout out if she sees that. How are you doing? Yeah. Shout out to her. Anything else you said? No, I don't think you said anything else that I want to touch on. Yeah, and I think that's really cool the way you try to intertwine your love of sports in that segment with your love of Travis Scott. I thought that was really cool. So just coming just from what I'm saying, that was very great. So that was just my props given to you right there. And yeah, I guess we could just close it out with doing a little KZT fan questions. Let's see what we have. We have Americana. He says, has Travis Scott contacted him since his stunt?
So Travis retweeted it. Travis liked the video. That was really cool. Since then, Made in Tokyo's reached out. TM88 has added me, and working with a song. Gezin from 808 Mafia is put together the. He's trying to do the Scott interlude, because if you're big Travis fans, you probably know this already. Travis likes to pick apart things that he might see that comes to him naturally, organically. So the hope is 808 produces, and the beat is sick. It's on SoundCloud, the demo version. They won't even let me hear the real version. I'll try to post it on this. If someone can give me like a login to KTT.
Okay.
I'll put it on my Twitter. So my handle is @ScottyDReports, and I'll post it. But anyways, so 808 Mafia is trying to make a song, and so from there, gradually get towards Travis. That's the ultimate goal, is to maybe work with them, maybe get on the album. That'd be fantastic. But as for Travis himself reaching out, no, he has not. Though I've seen him live since twice, and I think he looked at me once, so that's cool.
I mean, I feel like you were so creative with that, and he's a pretty creative person himself, and I always feel like creativity and creativity goes well together, and you're already with the 808 Mafia people, and they're cool with him, so I feel like, who knows, Astro World, we may hear a little snippet or may a little interlude from you. That would be crazy, so hopefully that happens. I do hope that happens. That'd be crazy. Let's see, Malik, he asks, boxers or briefs?
Oh man, I'm wearing boxer briefs right now. I'm also wearing Yeezys right now. I don't know. This all audio?
No. This is FaceTime. They can see it.
Hey, what up?
Are you a big Yeezy guy? You like buying the Yeezys?
Oh yeah, I'm waiting for those new. What are they? The Wave Runners. If I know Kanye might be lurking, so shoot me a pair, bro.
Hey, shoot me a pair too if you see this, Kanye. Let me see. Any more questions? Okay, you got one more. This guy, Young NATO, he says, big. Oh, no. One more, or two more, actually. Tarvis, he said, how long have you been a Travis Scott fan?
So I saw him on the Yeezus tour when he went to Vegas. Wasn't really a fan. Didn't really know who he was. I'd say that was 2013. My friend Josh Jones tried to get me into him during the rodeo era, and he was going to concerts all the time. I'd say the real, when I realized, hey, dude is amazing, was last year's Day and Night Festival. He just popped up during Bryson Tiller's set, and then the album dropped right afterwards, and I just did a deep dive knowing that what he did on Yeezus really made me a fan, but going to see him live made it such a different experience. So I saw him live at Day and Night last year, New Year's this year, saw him on the Damn tour, saw him at Coachella, saw him in Santa Barbara, saw him last week at Day and Night. I mean, just getting a chance. Yeah. If you're watching this right now and you've never seen Travis Scott live, go do it. I cannot recommend it more. He'll never perform at a small venue again unless you get one of those invites to a secret show or something. So that's unfortunate. But seeing him in a small venue is life-changing. And going to see him ride that bird last week was fun, too.
I just thought of two little side questions. Do you have favorite albums of the year?
Album of this year?
Yeah, just it don't have to be one album. Just a couple favorite albums that you like to listen to this year.
I'd say Culture and Damn are
Mm.
the two best. That Made in Tokyo one's very underrated. I would give it a shot. He was pretty good live too. I've never actually like went out of my way to see him live, but if you live in LA or anywhere near it, you might have just ran into him live. He just always performing places.
Okay.
He's opened up for Travis like randomly, just shows up. Very cool guy. He's only like 5'4", but he puts on a party.
Okay. And the last little side question for me was, is there any? Because we're talking very positive about rappers. Is there any rappers that come on and you're just like, please turn it off? Like you could be in the car with your friend, he turns them on, you're like, please, this makes horrible music. Like somebody you just do not like listening to under any circumstances.
I mean, it's funny because I used to be a big fan. Just I'd say Eminem. It's just different nowadays. I even liked that album, the Relapse album, but it's like it's just cringy. I could listen to it by myself. If I'm with someone, I'm just like, nah, let's just end this right now.
I know the exact feeling. And the last question comes from Young NATO. Last fan question. He says, big. He said, big fan after what you did for the Travis thing, but I have to ask, who's your favorite porn star?
Oh man, I'm not gonna answer that. I'm a public.
Yeah, he's a public figure. You can't answer that, Young NATO. Let me see. Anything else? And yeah, I think that's it. So yeah, anything else you got to say before we get out of here?
Yeah, I'd say KTT, keep it up. I love what you guys do. Keep leaking those albums before they should drop, because I'll be following that. Also, follow me on Twitter at Scotty D Reports, Instagram at scott.ksby. And if you guys have any ideas, any suggestions, I probably won't be able to do any more of these, fun sportscasts. I'm not doing sports. Otherwise, I'll probably do a Ski Master Slump God one. I think he's next up. So if I ever get a chance, that's probably what I would do. But yeah, follow me on those platforms. I'll follow back.
Okay, until next time, I say what I mean what